You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Hey, got a really incredible guest for you today. His story, college dropout, Home Depot overpaid employee at $8 an hour, now has gone on to run companies making millions and millions of dollars a year. Never went back to college, didn't see the value of it. Cody, welcome. Great to have you on the show. So, hey, Home Depot, very humble beginnings there. They're paying you $8 an hour. Probably they were paying you too much at that point, but quickly you've realized you were worth a lot more than $8 an hour.
Yeah, I think Home Depot was a great place to start out at because it's like a bunch of teams working together at a single location, right, to build a business. And actually we took that and, through the rest of my positions, took that model. So anywhere I went, I wanted to learn what every team did. And that's what served me well. Plus $8 an hour at the time, it paid the bills and it did feel like a lot. That is, and nowadays, not so much.
Not so much. You make that before you even wake up in the morning, just brushing your teeth. You're making probably well more than that. So unusual story, but actually it's not that unusual. Many of you out there started from very humble beginnings and built it up, and you built incredible things. If you could go back to your $8 an hour Cody at Home Depot, what would you tell him?
I'd give him the same advice I give anyone I hire, which is be curious, be competitive, and don't be an a-hole. So that'll take you a lot of places in life.
So Be curious means keep on learning, right?
Yep.
Competitive means not so much you're competing against others, but that you are ambitious and you have
100%.
Right? And don't be an a-hole means get along with people, find out what they want, how you can help them get what they want, and at the same time, help yourself get what you want.
Yeah, especially on that last one is like everyone, no matter how much of a high performer you are, everyone goes through a period of tough times, right? Where the results aren't coming in. And if it requires you to be a mean person to get results, as soon as you stop getting results, well, now you're just a mean person, right? Very few people in my experience actually enjoy working with a mean person.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, be nice, but don't be weak, be strong.
100%. I mean, it's part of being competitive, right? Is you got to be ambitious. You got to want more from yourself and from your team. Otherwise, why are you there, right? You're just showing up and going through the motions.
Right. Yeah. So, and you've encountered a lot of other people. How many people have taken your advice to heart and really succeeded as a result, Cody?
Who knows how many exactly? I know right now I've got a team of about 80 people. Of the 80, I've got my A players, probably 5 to 7 A players. And you always have the people you need to show up. So I think if I had to quantify my impact, I can think of at least 7 individuals who've gone on to go from being a junior marketer, starting out at 50 a year, to making more than 6 figures in some form of marketing leadership position.
Mm-hmm. All right. So these skills are transferable, and maybe that'll be your legacy. I mean, obviously family, whatever, you want to leave a legacy for your family, but you want to try to leave things better than you got them, right?
That is the end goal. I am a results person, and I do believe like reputation precedes you. And that's the one I hope to leave behind.
All right. So when you're looking at it, there's a lot of paths to success, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every path begins with you. So,
yeah.
And the amount of success you have, I assume you have an attitude, no matter whether things go right or wrong, it's all about you, what you've done, what you missed, what you could have done, right? Taking responsibility, owning your failures. Your successes are real easy to own. Hey, anyone could do that. But to actually own a failure, that takes some fortitude, doesn't it?
100%. I think that ultimately, everything is on you, because no matter where you're working, what business you're starting, like what the world around you looks like, you really only have control of yourself. And when you leave that company or that business doesn't work out, you can take that as, your identity. You can say, oh, well, I'm the guy that worked at here. Or I'm the guy that, started or lost this business. But the truth is, we get an open book, and you can write whatever story in it next you want to. And the main character, like you said, is you. So the more you focus on you and what's next, right? The story you want to be written in that book, generally you get to the happy ending you want at the end of it. It may not be the journey you want, but you might hit the outcome.
Yeah. Well, hey, the most important thing, though, is taking action, right? Getting your knowledge, learning what you need to learn, the skills, everything else. And then it's actually to do something. You can't just lie in bed visualizing and hoping that the law of attraction is just going to bring it all to you.
No, not at all. And that's, we talk about at the company often of like being book smart is 20% of the equation, right? Because no matter how intelligent you are, if you don't do anything with that knowledge, then it's only going to live in one place and it won't have any impact. What you really need is a game plan, right? What you really need is to be able to take that YouTube video you watched and apply it into your real life. And chances are in a 20-minute video, maybe you find one thing, but you apply that one thing and it has exponential impact on what happens next. So, at the end of the day, you learn more from doing than by reading, in my experience. Doesn't mean you can't solve yourself some harsh pains by learning and reading, but the only way to get to where you want to go is to take the first step and every step after that.
And the old saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And, more often than not, you end up in a place you actually didn't want to go in the first place.
Yeah, because you're no longer the master of your own fate, if you will. Hey, so tell us about what you're doing now. Company, everything involved.
Yeah. So right now, I'm a chief marketing officer at a company called StocksToTrade, and we're a financial education company. So spend a lot of our days. We have a platform, right, that has NASDAQ level stock information that we help people leverage. Most people get stuck with a either like E-Trade or Bloomberg terminal, right? And the price difference between those two is pretty meaningful, right? I think Bloomberg terminal is like $25,000. So the everyday person actually doesn't have a lot of access to resources or information that helps them make smart financial decisions. So we stream the same data to our platform, and it gives them level 2 data that gives them a lot of information. And that's the key of it all. It's like giving everyday people access to, Wall Street grade information that you would have to pay a lot of money for. And then me personally, I've got a podcast business, Marketing from the Edge. And that's where I take everything I've learned about marketing and building businesses, and I condense it down into information for others. I've gotten pretty good at building businesses. It is, when people ask me, what's one thing I'm good at? That is the answer. Like, I know how to build a business. I can go from, 600,000 to 3 million. I can go from I can go from 0 to 60 million, and I can go anywhere in between, all the way. Been a part of a company that did just shy of $500 million. So building businesses, I think that's what I do best. And marketing from the edge is the culmination of everything I've learned doing it.
Pretty cool. And it's transferable to any company, huh? When a new client comes to you, though, how do you figure out whether they've got a real viable business or they should move on?
To me, the first thing's always the offer. If they show up and they say, I don't know what we should sell, or, what I'm selling isn't working, to me, that's the fundamentals of a broken business. If you don't have clarity on what value you can provide to the end user, it makes, why bother selling it at all? You're not actually helping anyone. So to me, that's the difference between building a business versus reinventing a business. Is your offer solid?
So, interestingly, when you look at a business, so you could either start it or you could buy it. And in my opinion, generally, it's always easier to buy a business, even if it's not profitable. In fact, if it's marginally profitable or break even, you could buy it for next to nothing. And then you just have to improve on the systems that are already there. But what's been your experience?
Yeah, in fact, back in, I want to say 2022, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I bought a business. It was doing like $7,000 a month or something, right? It was nothing. And it was directly in the financial education space. So bought it, was at $7,000, did an owner carry on it, right? So out of pocket, pretty much nothing. And scaled it all the way up to, I think we peaked at like $53K a month. And handed it back to the guy. And it was more of just like a mental exercise, right? Being able to take something, build it, like from near zero, buy a business, go through that motion, go through it is somewhat of a painful process buying a business. That is like the one downside, right? Is they have a certain valuation, you have a different, and sometimes it's a little bit of a road bump to get to something that's equitable for both people. But I tend to agree with you. Buying a business fares well than building a business, right? You don't have to learn all the lessons the business has already done for you. And especially if you have a skill set, you can go in there, use your skill set, and get a result.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So when you're starting a new endeavor, what's the most important thing that you need to do?
I think if you're starting a new career, I think learn, right? Go and talk to everyone there. If you're starting a new business, but whether it's building or starting a business, the most important thing you can do is talk to the customers, right? Even if you don't have, whether you haven't sold anything to anyone yet, if you have someone else in your space, or you have someone else in your, that you can access from the company you're looking to buy, at the end of the day, knowing what your customer is thinking and what they're feeling and being able to implement that into the next level of what you want to start, that to me is going to serve you far better than any sort of demographic research or quizzing whatever. If you've got a great team and you know your customer, you can go a long ways.
That's all about the team. All right. Hey, Cody, want to find out more about you, want to connect with you on the web? How do you go about doing that?
Yeah. marketingedgepod.com. That's the best place. And I have an e-letter on there. It's free. You just got to apply. And like I said, it's where I share all the insights I've learned building businesses from zero all the way as high as 480 million in a year. And, I'm just sharing that value now. Cause like you said, it's about leaving something behind.
Great. Just repeat that website again.
marketingedgepod.com.
marketingedgepod.com. The link is in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Hey, when you go there, please sign up for your free newsletter. Get a lot of really valuable info like you're getting here. And if you got a question for Cody or myself, shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Cody, been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.